Welcome to another edition of Thought Leaders Live, where we talk with thought leaders in business, life, and all points in between. And today I am with Tony Hulbert, CEO of Horsepower Brands, where he leads a fast growing portfolio of home service franchises through a people first approach and a commitment to operational excellence. Tony, welcome to the show.
Good to be here, Greg. Thanks for having me.
Sure. So the name of the show is How a People First Mindset is Reshaping Home Services and Franchising. Um, you've got pretty amazing background, both on the financial and the marketing side. And so I'd love to hear your story about your personal journey and then how you landed in the home services and franchising industry.
You bet. I'll try to give the shortened version of before horsepower because I think the more entertaining version of what we've been able to do with horsepower is a lot better for your listening audience. But my shortened version of my background before Horsepower Brands, I was a CPA out of college. I was strong in finance, accounting, tax, audit, and I did that for a period of years, 4 years. Joined the private space in the beverage business. And got behind some families that owned the rights to distribute the Pepsi and the products that related to it. So got a lot of opportunity as a CFO of that organization for actually about 4 years. Left that organization. I'm going to come back to that one here in a moment. But I left that organization to become, a business owner, an entrepreneur, and a franchisee. So left that organization to join other franchisees in a nutrition retail concept. And so there was an existing group that had 40 stores across the nation, and those two individuals were in their early 30s, and I joined them as their CFO and the person that was going to help them continue to grow and expand through acquisition. And so we continued to expand and got nearly to 70 stores across 17 states. Wow. With about 250 plus employees, 40 million top line revenue. Ooh. And this is during the time when each of us were between the ages of 30 to 35. So we do not admit to have known anything. We had incredible people around us. We were a continuous learner. We wanted to continue to understand how we could lead the organization better each and every day. And so that was like my catapult into just loving entrepreneurship, loving building teams, and just loving just what you can do with a business as you continue to scale it. We did exit out of those stores, and those two business partners still obviously stay in touch with over the years, but we were able to exit from those stores. I had a chapter in my life when I went back to that same beverage distribution company, but not as the CFO and not as a numbers person. I fell in love with growing teams, went back as a vice president of sales and marketing. So I was able to lead that organization where it was at that time, and about 125 to 150 employees kind of rolled up through my channel of org. And also had the opportunity just to be in the room, fly on the wall with the PepsiCo overall system and learning from one of the greatest organizations from a marketing and sales perspective to ever exist. Wow. And so those 3-4 years that I was back in that role, like incredible value to me and my experience, that's now led me into joining Horsepower.
Before we jump into Horsepower, I just want to pause for a second and have you tell us a little bit more about why you jumped into that sales and marketing role. Because I saw that on your LinkedIn profile, and I'm like, wait a second, here's this numbers guys. Why did he jump into sales and marketing?
Yeah, I have a strong skill set with finance, the numbers. I can advise and consult well in that area of the business. But at the end of the day, and for me, anything in the financial space, typically you're operating 45, 60 days after month-end close. And so I can remember even being in the boardroom, and you're typically advising the company, the department, the team, what decisions were made that were mistakes and what decisions that were made that were success. And so you had hindsight 2020 at your favor. So the CFO is a valuable person in any organization because they can usually tell a story and help guide the organization where they made the decision right or wrong. And I fell in love with being on the front end of having to make the decision. And I think everything that I've been able to do in my past has given me a strong understanding of data and analytics. And so when I make decisions in real time, there's still a part that comes from your gut. But because of my background, I think I can narrow some of my decision making and make better decisions than most with my background. But I love growing teams. I love being part of growth organizations, and I love to be in the room when not all the data and the information is available, and somebody has to make a decision, or you have to get a team to come together to make a decision. That's the environment that I thrive today in, where I'm at in life.
Well, that's awesome. So then take us back in your journey then into horsepower brands.
Yeah, and so then I joined Horsepower Brands, and that was a startup. So I left a very established career and role within that organization. Now a second time, so just the decision to leave a second time, there definitely is not going back to that organization at this point. Still have great relationships there, but it was a big decision for myself at the time where I was at, uh, and to go into home services and now be on the franchisor side. So in the nutrition retail, I was on the franchisee side of the equation, now going into the franchisor side, and then also going into industries that my experience, I had none in that area. Luckily, our investor, Josh Skolnick, had been a franchisor in a tree care franchise and also a dumpster and portable restroom franchise. And he exited both of those to private equity. With those proceeds, we were able to launch Horsepower Brands. But where I've connected with him more than anything is actually before his success or the end of his story. It goes all the way back to the beginning of his story when he was a 14-year-old kid and did lawn mowing, then built a business, and then built a tree care business before he chose to franchise. There's a period of 10 to 15 years where he was a solopreneur, but built businesses that, I think all of us would be excited to be a part of or own if you had the opportunity. He built a tree care business that was extremely successful before he chose to franchise it. And the stories he was able to share with me about home services at that time, and the business that he could build with the people in his community, how he could give back to the community, and the lifestyle that he was living before franchising, it, I became very interested in home services. And as I think about the future, the stability of home services through recessions and pandemics, and now going into this whole AI revolution,
Mm-hmm.
I think home services is strongly positioned to come out of the gate in all three of those circumstances, and give people an opportunity to win, at least in the U.S.
Yeah, I mean, from a digital marketing standpoint, and as an owner of a digital marketing agency, I always look at home services with a little bit of envy
Yeah,
because it seems like these guys just have more business than they know what to do with. And like you said, it is more or less recession proof. And with the AI entering the scene, man, you need the real people. There's no getting around that to get some tree service done or things like that. Just for a second, if we can talk a little bit about the franchisor um, aspect of it and how that actually works. I'm curious because I'm not familiar with that.
yeah,
How do you start that? How does that whole process work? Tell us a little bit about it.
yeah. There's a lot to it, but beyond franchising, the most searched term around franchising is Chick-fil-A, and so a lot of people think
Wow.
Chick-fil-A or think McDonald's when they consider franchising or what a
Okay,
franchise
sure.
is. But the reality is, it's like 70% of every dollar that we spend is involved in some franchising system, and including services, professional services and home services. And so we are a franchise system. We show people how to get into business. We just have chosen within our 9 brands to focus in home services such as roofing, fencing, painting, and I can go through the rest.
Mhm.
And what we do is offer the marketing, the playbook, the tools, the support, the know-how, and how to start your business, also how to scale that business through inflection points. And what I like to say is, at the end of the day, to take franchise out of it, because a lot of people still don't know what a franchise is. I like to say to people I meet at the holiday parties, we build people that build businesses, and that's the game. We're just choosing to use franchising as the vehicle, and home services is the category, and the destination is still to build a business with right alongside one of our franchisees.
Okay, great. I like that at the core of what you're doing. It really comes down to the people and building them. So Let's talk a little bit about the home services world right now. And one of the lines in the show description is that it's undergoing massive transformation, and the ones who are winning are rethinking franchising, customer experience, and leadership from the ground up. Do you want to talk to us a little bit about that?
Yeah, we talked a little bit about franchising, but the customer experience, and you being in digital marketing will appreciate this. The customer experience, home services still can be fragmented because you got a lot of local operators, solopreneurs that's in one van servicing the homeowners. You may have some large companies that have been able to reach scale, but what franchising does in the home service space right from day one is to make sure that customer experience is as smooth as possible. So when I work with the marketing team, and I'm not an expert in marketing or all things marketing, but one thing I do believe in it is you start with the customer and work your way backwards with most problems. And for customer experience, where you can remove friction, the one person that did this better than anyone in the world was Jeff Bezos with convenience and shipping to your home. And once he did that, you can see where he's landed. So I still come back to with our marketing team in the transformation. I don't know if it's so much transformation in home services. It's a relentless focus on removing the friction so that you, the homeowner, can just find the solution to your need or your want. So your need, you need a roof replaced because some event happened and there's a leak coming through, or you want some custom window treatments for your living room, and you just want to be able to make an enjoyable but frictionless customer experience to get to that solution. We spend a lot of time and energy and resources with that as the 50,000-foot view or theme in terms of as we look at home services.
I mean, it always comes back to that, right? I mean, it's the customer experience. There's a lot of stuff right now online about answer engine optimization and AI, and search engine optimization has been so big, and now answer engine optimization. I hear all these people trying to figure out what the Chat GPT and Perplexity, what are the questions that people are asking. I'm like, why don't you go ask the customer what their questions are?
Yeah.
I'm curious, just with your focus on the customer experience, how do you interface with the customers? How do you get that, really hone in on that customer experience? What are some of the tools, strategies they use?
Yeah, and I think it's important. We were talking ahead of the show. Digital marketing is just one element of building a successful home service business. And I think the reason they've been able to survive the pandemic and also recession and potentially even this AI thing. This AI is just a new thing that's getting into place, but some of the best home service companies are doing business through referrals and brand and reputation and market. And I don't think that's going away in home services for the next 10 years. And so coming back to when you focus energy into what we're doing beyond just the click from digital, we have digital marketing agencies and they're great partners and they help us get clicks so that a call or a form is filled out. But that's their objective. Now that has now stopped. There's about another 20 things that are happening in automated fashion or by person to make sure that that experience is going as smooth as possible through the rest of the funnel. We use a call center. We have options of either a human call center or AI call center. I'm a
Hmm.
big proponent where AI is already today because we've been working on it for 18 months. And I have seen the incremental progress and improvement that an AI call agent can have on a phone call. And the objective is for the call center is to convert that conversation to an appointment inside the home so that I can visit you inside your kitchen and talk about your need or want. And so the call center's objective is to convert to an appointment. And so we know where marketing lands, we know where the call center lands. And so then once we are coming to that appointment, where can we make the best experience happen so that we can get to ultimately the final decision, which is them accepting our proposal and we're offering the business to them. And so we spend a lot of time in just that area. And so even inside that home, we use AI. I'm excited about this tool. We've used it all this year, but it's listening to that conversation for one, note taking to make sure you follow through with any promises that I make to you, Greg, for that window treatment in your living room. I want to make sure I follow through with anything we talked about. But number two, Greg, you don't know that this tool was able to listen to that conversation, transcribe my voice, the salesperson or the designer, and your voice, the customer, and now it's able to coach me within about 5 minutes of uploading it, what I did wrong through that conversation, what I could do better, and what I could do better is the right approach. It's able to coach me. And so, am I talking too much? Am I not asking enough questions? Did I miss an opportunity to close the business because you showed a signal that you're a buyer, but I kept talking and I just didn't take advantage of, like, let's sign the business and let's move forward. This tool in itself is able to listen and coach that customer experience. So you go all the way to the front end. We got preferred agencies that, like yourself, they know what they're doing to get the click, is showing results that we know what it does in terms of converting to appointment. And now we're making sure with tools and training and framework that we're doing everything inside that home to deliver on our service so that we ultimately get to a decision and move forward. And then shoot, there's another 40 steps after that to deliver quality work, follow up,
Right.
get paid, get referrals, get reviews. I mean, it's a never ending customer journey. And to full circle come back to it, part of joining a franchise is, we're accelerating all these connection points and all this information so that when you make a decision and start your business, we can help scale you faster than if you tried to do this on your own. You can still go do it on your own, and I commend people that do so, but there's just so many things we can give you day one that you would be struggling with trying to figure out over the course if you did it on your own, including myself.
Right. I mean, it makes complete sense, and most people just want to go out and do the work. I imagine it's in the home services field as well, that they want to
Yes.
go out and do the work and not have to worry about the marketing and things like that. And so that's great that you're doing that. And I love the fact that you're collecting those conversations from a marketer. I would love, and we encourage our own clients, like, please record those conversations and take that transcript because you're getting the customer's language,
Correct.
captured, and that can inform marketing quite a bit. So I commend you on that. Let's we've been diving deep
All
into
over
a
the
lot
place,
of things here. Let's go through some of the bullet points here that we talked about. Talk to me a little bit about how I don't know if we've touched on how you're modernizing home services and franchising. Do you want to, is there anything you want to add to that?
yeah. I mean, I kind of hinted at it where the modernization is the customer experience, but we in 2025 we had 3 AI initiatives, 2 of which affect the customer, which is that sales listening tool that we're using to improve the customer experience and improve and coach our frontline team to make sure they're delivering upon everything that they need to deliver on. And then number 2 was the AI call center, and we're ahead of the rest of the industry by doing that. But I've shared with the organization there's 2 things that I'm fairly confident of. This technology will only incrementally get better.
Yep.
And it's going to be by the day, not by the month or year. It'll be by the day,
Yep.
the AI tool. And then number 2, the consumer, at least in home services, where the objective is to schedule an appointment with us. That is the objective, whether it's human or AI. The consumer in this industry, we believe that there's going to be more, they're going to become used to talking to an AI agent. It's very hard to identify. We have many people that couldn't even tell, but it's hard to even identify at this point, but sometimes people can. But I think the consumer, each month that goes by, will become more used to it because more people are going to adopt it because you can get the same result at a more affordable rate, a better experience, and people will become accustomed to it. So
Yeah.
there's going to be some modernization in home services that maybe we're not used to. We can book online, but we've had that in our system. But our book online feature is tied to our scheduling. And so if you book with me, the technician or the salesperson for Friday at 2, it's because I'm truly available. And so then a lot of people don't even want to talk to anyone. Like, let me just schedule this thing. I don't have time. Let me get this figured out. And then being able to accept proposals electronically, being able to pay electronically, there's that modernization that, has already been around. We're just making sure that we're really frictionless with that customer experience.
Yeah, I love it. We had Gabe Larson from Signals, which they do a lot with AI employees. So totally get the benefits. And there's a lot of opportunities for people to help manage those AI teams. I can see that coming down the road. So I think it's something I'm glad you're embracing it because there's no other way. It seems like we're going to go with this.
Yeah, absolutely.
Let's talk a little bit about people first, all in mindset. And if you follow Tony on LinkedIn, I mean, he oozes company culture in all his posts and content. Talk to us a little about the all in mindset.
Yeah, so we have 9 brands, and it starts with the recruitment. So as CEO, listen, and I have a CPA background. So is it my natural inclination to jump on social media and make posts and try to share with the rest of the world or any of the audience? And I don't have a big audience, but the audience that does follow me, is it my natural inclination? Absolutely not. But what I have found is, as it relates to recruitment, is we have 2 recruitment or opportunities: employees that want to join our organization, but then also franchisees, people that want to get into business ownership, and both of those follow us. I have found it's easy for me to get an introduction or to message somebody on LinkedIn in the franchise community. I'm saying this from a humble experience, but most people, if I send that message, will know me or will have connections with about 100 other people that they know. And so
Mhm.
I've been able to help start our recruitment for some key positions in our organization by simply sending a message and saying, "Hey Joe, do you have 10 minutes to talk? I want to share with you what we're trying to do at Horsepower Brands." And they message back like, "Tony, I followed you for this period of time. My cell phone's this. I can call them." And within another hour, they've already seen my post, so that I'm
Yeah.
just reaffirming and validating what we're trying to do at Horsepower Brands, and they've seen that. And so then introducing them to our recruiter and our team. So the team does leverage me and to make that reach out. So recruiting of our employees has been a game changer in using LinkedIn as one of the social channels to share our story. And then number 2, with franchisees, like I just with when it comes to the title of this and what we're trying to build here, people is the factor. What we got here at Horsepower Brands, there's only 2 things that can really kind of upset this apple cart at this point: is the employees that we're recruiting, or the people that we are accepting and awarding franchises to, because we don't have to award a franchise to anyone that wants to be a part of our system. We get to make that choice, and they also get to make that choice with us. And so when I talk about like a topic like all in mindset, I'm making sure I'm sharing the type of people we're looking to join our system. They got to be all in on this business. And this has to be a priority in their life. And it's because I want to build something, we want to build something that's going to be memorable across all of our brands. And so we need to make sure the people that join our system as a business owner have that same level of mindset and just desire that I share on my LinkedIn. So that messaging, when you do it with authenticity and you just tell your story and you don't try to change who you are, it becomes really easy. It's just that, the reminder to make a post today or this week, because I haven't done it. I don't have anyone help me. Some people have asked, like, does anyone help me? Nobody helps me. I misspell things. I don't have the best grammar. The way I write doesn't make maybe the most sense, but like feel like if I just say it from my voice, my
Yeah.
tone, how I feel in that moment, I get better following and better engagement.
It's the real you. Yeah, absolutely. But I think what's interesting though is your company said, and you've made this decision to be on LinkedIn, and you're not relying on your company marketing as much. Why make that bold move? You're a busy guy. I mean, how don't you have more important things to do, Tony?
Yeah, I mean, as I look at it, I think into the future, people follow people and people buy from people. That's always been, generally the business, like, is people buy from people, and that will, I think, continue into the future with less of our ability to interact with people with all the technology that's in front of us. I think even building that connection will have more value in the future. I think just generally the people, I don't follow companies on any social channels, but I follow CEOs and founders that I admire. The big stories of Jeff Bezos, but also I love following some stories of people that have built $100 million or a $200 million company. And
Yeah,
just 10 years ago, they were the person that was in a truck or a car selling that service. And so uh, I don't follow, but I can even tell you, I don't follow their company. And so I
yeah,
think we got to recognize just generally people will want to follow the leaders of organization. And also I'm trying to encourage other teammates of our organization to get out there and build their own personal brand. and they have more to say than they realize. So we have a couple group presidents and vice presidents that I see are taking that leap. Like, we create a culture, like, get out there and do it. And some old handbooks would say, hey, don't post on social media about the company. Our philosophy is, like, if you got something to share that's positive to entrepreneurship, positive business ownership, and is supportive of your role within the company, like, get out there and do it.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, just more visibility, telling your story in multiple ways through multiple voices. There's a lot of proven research out there that shows that when you do have multiple people within the company, all boats rise, and your voices carry more weight together. So
Yes.
again, kudos on that. So trends every home service leader should be watching. You want to touch on that a little bit?
Yeah, uh, during the COVID years, the pandemic years, well, rates have increased, and so a lot more remodeling is happening because we're saving on to that lower interest rate that many of us have within our homes, including myself. And so you saw a spike in remodeling, which was really good for home services. When you look at 2023, 24, and even 25, we've stayed stagnant in terms of the total spend in remodeling. But those 3 years where we've remained stagnant are far in excess of
Mm,
2019 before. So it's
sure.
still total addressable markets over 600 billion. Here at Horsepower Brands, we think we're going to end the year around 260 million system-wide sales, which
Wow.
is over 5 years. So we built that from one location under a million to 260 million over 400 locations. But our goal by 5 more years from today would to be over a billion in system-wide sales. It's a big number, but we believe we can get there, and we're still a very small sliver of this pie of the US in home services. So it's been a little bit stagnant in terms of where the industries have been and the consumer spend. But I can tell you the size of the market is significant, and the opportunities within it because of uh, demographics aging out that own those businesses now need to either sell those businesses, or quite frankly, they don't have a business to sell. So they will just be closing down shop, and it'll continue to have, I believe, an increased demand for those type of services in many communities across the nation.
Okay. Let's we're getting close to the end of the top of the hour here. I want to talk a little bit about how HOWIE is reinventing the homeowner experience. Was that the AI application you were talking about, or is HOWIE something different?
Yeah. So here on this, that's one of the banners here. So in the office here, I got all the banners in my office of all the brands, but Howie is on that side. It's the family of brands. And so when you, the homeowner, want to be able to work with each one of our 9 brands, there will become a day when we have all 9 brands open in a local market. And so Howie is the family of brands. It's what connects it all
Ah,
together. And so you could work with one place, Howie, but then also get your heating and air, your painting, and your fencing all through Howie. So the homeowner is going to see Howie as the platform, where the business owner, or the person looking to open a business in home services with us, they see Horsepower. So it's just, we got two, family of brands names. One's focused on entrepreneurship, one's focused on the homeowner experience.
got it. Okay. Um, okay. Um,
There's a lot
any
there in
There
30.
is a lot there. Yeah, absolutely. Fantastic. Anything you would add, especially to someone who's out there and maybe they're thinking about getting into the franchise business, or they're interested in what you're doing, they'd like to be a part of it?
Yeah, so you of course can come to horsepowerbrands.com, and it's a free service. You can work through and learn more about home services. You can learn a lot about franchising. By the end of it, I share early on in that process. This is an education process. This is not a sales process. We are not in the business of wanting you to make that decision until you feel very comfortable, because owning a business takes a lot, and beyond all-in mindset. And so we want to make sure people make that decision with the right education of what it looks like to start a business in home services through franchising as your vehicle, and Horsepower is just the destination, or the one that you choose to work with. So it's go to horsepowerbrands.com. You can and sign up and learn a lot more, and you get to work with our team here and they'll take you through a process. And I think I messaged you, something that I'm going to deliver in 2026, just from a personal nature, is a personal framework that I've had in my life, and that I've been able to now go back and take my notes and really think about, why is business ownership difficult, or what can you do to improve a better life? Because you want to start a business because you believe it's going to offer you freedom or time, but how can you do that, and how can you live a better life? And so I've been really focusing in 7 different categories, and I want to share more of that in 2026. But it involves your physical health, your mental health, relationships, the adventures that you're scheduling in your life. If you follow me on LinkedIn, I share some of my travel and the adventure that I go through, the impact you're making in your life, whether that's through the relationships that you have, the money part of your life, which included in that is whether you want to be a business owner or not. Sometimes it's
Mhm.
better to remain in your career and just be
Yeah.
really good at what you do. And then ultimately the freedom. Like, so when you get all 7 of these things working, freedom in itself is, we could talk about what do you really mean by freedom, but it's the ability to make the decisions that you want to focus in these areas of your life at this moment in time, and optimize the life that's best for you. We're here for a short amount of time. And so I think that entrepreneurship shouldn't just be something that everyone chases because of what they hear online. They should be well informed what it is, and then also be well informed, like, what's the optimal life for you, so that you're making a decision that impacts all 7 of these dimensions, and you don't get yourself into owning a business and maybe it wasn't really what you were searching for, which kind of like gets me to sell you against the idea of joining Horsepower. But again, my goal is that you actually make the right decision in starting a business with us, and that it's going to take your life forward in a way that you want it to be, versus being sold into the idea of it.
I love that. I love that you're offering that up. And obviously you've had so many of these experiences that have helped shape you and develop those 7 points in your framework.
Yeah.
And really excited to see that come out. So, Tony, thank you. It's been a real pleasure chatting with you, getting to learn more about yourself and Horsepower Brands. And thanks for being on the show. And if somebody wants to get a hold of you directly or to the company, is there anything specifically they should do?
Go to horsepowerbrands.com. Follow me on LinkedIn. Don't message me on LinkedIn. The best way to get a hold of me is to go through that journey, and through those right steps. If it seems of interest, you will be able to talk to me eventually through that process. But yep, very busy man. I just try to stay focused on what we're building here at Horsepower Brands. So thank you, Greg, for inviting me to join, and I appreciate the time.
You bet. Thanks for everybody for joining us as well.